president, and we think he's a star. Our master of ceremonies drives everywhere in his fast car. From St. Catharines to Toronto, from North Russell to Junior's Pronto. Please give a hand for my politically savvy friend, our MC, Ron Barr.
Yay! Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm dressed up today because this is one of the first times in about 3 months I've been able to dress up. I had major surgery at the end of November, and I was sick of wearing track pants. I probably on a few Walmart videos on the internet from Walmart, and I hate that. But anyway, and I even have a belt on for probably the first time since November, so it's nice to see. And no, it's not a rented suit. It's not paid for yet, mind you, but it's not a rented suit. Anyway, good afternoon. Welcome to the Canadian Language for Fairness-St.Patricks Day Brunch-Ron. I'd like to welcome Jürgen, who does a great show. We're going to talk to him a little bit later. My goodness gracious, I've been very, very busy. I'm in the process. Ladies and gentlemen at the back of the room, I can hear you talking. You need to hear me. So we'll give you 1 more minute to sit down and grab a seat before I send Beth back there to wrestle you to your seat. And before I start, Annabelle. My goodness gracious, we were determining how we were going to pick up Dano and Andrew.
Let me get this on tape.
Yeah, you better get this on tape because I'm going to embarrass you. So I got an email last night from Annabelle saying that he went on Google and determined that from his place, where are you from, Guy?
North Barrhaven.
North Barrhaven to Mars. It's too far out of his way, so I Google searched it because he had a Google map there. 1,700 pages later, I'm thinking, wow, I think he was nervous about taking that detour through Uranus. So, but anyway.
Ron, you gotta remember, the last known address I had for Dano was on Mars.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, one of the better places to live, so I'm told. Especially in life.
Delivery charge on that?
Are you a heckler? Are you a heckler over there? Is he a heckler?
Yeah.
We don't heckle. I'm the only one to heckle.
Should know that right now.
No. I deal with hecklers. Anyway, good afternoon. It gives me great privilege to be able to MC this event, an event I look forward to. I hear a lot of great comments about it. It's a great group. I applaud all the board of directors and everybody that puts their efforts behind such an event for the moving forward and protecting some of our rights that seem to be eroding quite considerably. You know, when doing these things, I don't write a speech. As everybody knows, I've called over 10,000 horse races, so I love talking, and I love talking continuously, and I claim that I can talk for 30 minutes without breathing, so stay tuned. I'll entertain you for about 10 minutes. But in doing some research for today, I talked to my wife last night, what should I talk about? So I'm perusing through the paper, or once in a while when I get home, I get to look at Facebook and catch up on all the good news, and it just makes me sick. So I printed out a whole bunch of things. These are not the directions for Mars, from Mars to here, but they are newspapers over the last couple of days. And I want to go through some articles and have a discussion with regards to them, and because some of them are very interesting and some of them are near and dear to our hearts. Coming from anywhere from the liberal governments to bike lanes to immigration to all the fun stuff that's happening that are eroding our rights as citizens of this great country. So we're going to start with our friendly liberals and read their headline here. It says, "Wind has run out of our money." Isn't that delicious? Isn't that great? Running out of my money? I'm running out of money with all the, as running a business and being bombarded by governments and every regulatory businesses and licenses and this and that and the whole thing. She's running out of our money. I have no more money to give, Miss Lynn. Go home. There's no more money. The Liberals losing a death grip on Toronto. My goodness gracious, what will she give away to them? They've already looked after the teachers' unions. The doctors will be next because Mr. Hoskins, who is a doctor, I know a good friend of his that went to school with him, and we had a discussion with regards to Mr. Hoskins and the fact that he as a doctor has to attack his own. He's very uncomfortable about it, but it is what it is. And I'm assured that the doctors will be looked after because 18 months from now there's going to be a vote, and we have to make sure that she loses a grip on all of Ontario and not just Toronto, which she owns. The Liberals, self-congratulatory hydro ads ripped. My goodness gracious. We are the biggest suckers. Dano's probably the one that's one and only not who lives on Mars, because my goodness gracious, when she gave away the 8%, when she gave us back the 8%, that wasn't fixing the problem, that was just eliminating a tax. But now she's going to get more of our money. But my thing when I hear Ms. Lewin talk about and justify her position as, it's like a mortgage. Well, Ms. Wynn, at the end of my mortgage, I own my asset, and I can do what I want. So you know what? My hydro is not ready to be mortgaged. So we need you to clean up your act, or better yet, we need to kick them out of the office. Canadian media pushing us to be liberals. No kidding. No kidding. What a gorgeous picture. What a gorgeous picture of Mrs. and I call him a flea fluff. What do I call him? A flea. A fruit fly. Trudeau. Justin Trudeau, a fruit fly. Look right in the camera, fruit fly. That guy is absolutely, I don't know what he's doing to our country, our good country, but the Liberals are pushing us to be Liberals. We need to push back by Jurgen shows, the Rebel shows, and anybody that likes to talk our language. We don't want to be Liberals anymore. I love doing this. I feel like a game show host, or I feel like David Letterman. Although David Letterman's not a little bit kooky, looks like they said, I was reading a paper, they said they mistaken him for a rabbi. Looks like a snowman. Now, the Liberals, again, here's one more final on the will the real Patrick Brown please stand up? Tories aim to build leaders' brand. My goodness gracious, they should have started that 2 years ago, 18 months from now. If they poop their pants again, I don't know what I'll do. I'll go to Mars. I'll go to Mars.
Island of Sanity.
Hey, that's heckle. I had a chance to talk to Patrick Brown. I went to one of his events that he had named one of his local riding members. And Patrick said it right. He said, Ron, the election's ours to lose. They should win it. But we've heard that from Mr. Tory. We've heard that from Mr. Hudak. And if I hear from Mr. Brown, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have to take matters into our own hands, because I don't think things are ever going to get better. Immigration, hot subject now. I didn't know about Muslims 2.5 years ago or 2 years ago, and now it's the flavor of the day. You know, every commercial I see now, it has the flavor of all the diversities in Canada and such like that. I snicker when they say immigration is good. Immigration is great because we have to sustain a bloated, unsustainable government, and that's the only reason why I see immigration, they're promoting immigration as they do. We have Muslims, we have immigrants coming from Mexico now. Mexicans coming in, and Trudeau, the fruit fly, he encourages it, but it says Mexicans are now taking advantage of Canada's generous asylum program. In the meantime, these applicants are given full access to Canadians' generous social safety nets, including the controversial interim federal health programs, which offer services above and beyond what Canadian taxpayers receive. Yeah. Anybody else feel ripped off? Yeah. Because as a business owner, I continue to get inundated with these. I'm going to rip Trudeau up. I don't like him. There he is there on the floor. I continue. I run businesses. I was running 7 businesses before I became a full-time winemaker. I'm down to 3. I run the Great Ottawa Truckers Association. I run a construction company in Elmer, and I run my winery, and I'm going to buy it within the next month. You have no idea the trials and tribulations of becoming a business owner, as Beth and everybody knows in here that's ever owned a business, like John Surge and such. Profit is becoming a foreign word. I'm telling you, we've kept this year every brown envelope I get from Revenue Canada. I get 2 to 3 every single week. Whether it's a source deduction, whether it's an HST, whether it's WSIB. These people, for a small to medium-sized business owner, I'm going to have about 150 at the end of the year, getting 3 on average per week, literally, about 150 envelopes that I've got to deal with, a small to business-sized operation. I would rather be out there selling my services, my name, promoting and helping the community, versus being inundated by satisfying a bloated government that has little to do except for come and attack us. I'm going to be very honest, and I talk like this all the time. I do not change. When I have a government official come in and I run my businesses differently, and I tell them straight up, I put them right on notice, I'm running the business that I'm going to run it to do one of two things. Number one, so I can manage control, and I don't run my businesses by emotion. And number two, I have to be able to read my numbers and understand my business on any given day. Without that, I guess. And if you guess as a business owner, right, Beth, you're going to fail. And 90% of new business startups fail. I've never had a business that's failed, but I make it very clear to any government official that has no clue when they come in, and I've absolutely identified that I run the business the way I'm going to run the business. If you don't like that, you can pick your bum up and you can leave my office and call me hostile, because I'm not changing. I've literally had, and I'm the most organized guy in an audit. I run the audit, I stand there, I sit there, I make them, I never forget the lesson I learned with regards to dealing with auditors. I used to put them in a nice chair, get them lunch and stuff like that, until I got in trouble. I love this girl doing her knitting. Luther. So, I remember I put him on a nice boardroom, bought him lunch and all that stuff, until the owner of the business came up and says, "What are you doing?" He says, "You don't treat these people, they're government workers. If they're not quite done today, if they're getting treated the way you're going to treat them, they're going to stay again tomorrow. They're in no rush, Ron. And they're going to find more and more." So what I do now when they come for an MTO audit, which I sit down them, I put them in the garage, I make sure my mechanic's taking tires off, and I drive them goddamn nuts. Pardon my language. That'll be the last time. Because I want them uncomfortable. I want the noise, I want them out there by noon, because again, they get comfortable, they come in. I remember I had an MTO audit. Guy calls me up, one of the business owners, and I had a great relationship with the MTO. I deal with the top people with regards to SPIF, which is Safe, Protective Infrastructure Friendly Vehicles, and they equalize the weights to protect our roads and infrastructures. And then the auditor called me up. I called the auditor up because I was going to get involved and attend the audit for this member. And the guy starts giving me attitude, and I was with Lloyd Griffith at the time, and I said, "Buddy, you don't know who you're dealing with." I said, "I'm dealing with you guys at the provincial level. I'm in 2 meetings this week with you guys in Toronto. I'm doing a lot of work for you guys to clean up the crap that you've introduced to members, so the Ottawa guys somewhat keep quiet." Gives me attitude. I'm going to come in under this section. I said, "Buddy," he said, "I'm going to come next week, regardless of what you say." I said, "I'll tell you what." I said, "You show up next week, I'll greet you, and I'll just say I forgot you were coming." I guarantee, buddy, boom. I made a phone call to the head guy at the MTO in Toronto, got him called off. They delayed it for a couple of months because they knew I was something. The guy shows up the first time I meet him in a flak jacket, and I thought, wow, this is just great. You're coming for an audit. He eventually, when he met me and found out I wasn't a scoundrel that was going to beat him up, he said, "I'm going to go lighten up." I said, "That's a good idea." I said, "You don't need to come and intimidate me with a flak jacket, buddy, because I kick the shit out of you regardless." Anyway, but that's what they're doing now. They're harassing us, and we've got to be firm. We've got to push back. Beth has had stories with the MOE. Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, because they changed that, because they wanted to make it generic and neutral. So she's had problems, we've had problems, I've had problems. Getting a wine license, my goodness gracious, dealing with so many multiple levels of government, it almost comes to a point, if you didn't have the tenacity that I have and the determination, a lot of people would just simply walk away. So we've got to push them back. Then we've got, we're going to get to more immigration. We don't need, no need for Canadian values test for immigration minister says. Isn't that great? We just gave $119 million to Ethiopia and all those starving guys in Ethiopia. I have a friend who is from Ethiopia. I hired him several years ago, and he's a Muslim. Great guy. I love the guy. You wouldn't even say, never threw that in my face and all that. He's an Ethiopian. And it was funny that I remember as a kid where they had the Ethiopian famines. Send your dollars now to care. 56 Spark Street, Ottawa. I still remember that on TV. And he said it, and he was my vintage. And I said, I remember, he said that was the biggest crock of baloney. It would never happen now because of social media and such, because we can communicate back. But he says, we were never starving like that. I helped this group. They're taxi drivers in London. So, you meet one, you meet 16. So I've had dinner with them, and we joke, and I say I want a bacon sandwich and all that crap. We joke because they call me a white Muslim, believe it or not. We were having that much fun. But I helped I'm this gentleman who had to go to small claims court because I'm very generous. I go to court more than lawyers, believe it or not, literally, because I represent all my drivers. And what happened was, and I'll take about 4 more minutes. What happened was, I'm dealing with this guy. He had made a deal with another associate of his in a cab deal. It went bad, and the guy sued him for $9,000 as his share. Because the guy who I was representing, and I learned this as I was going on, he had to go back to Somalia to see his wife and his family and all that. They got quite the game going on. And we went through his finances because we had to prove to the court that he couldn't pay the $9,000, that he wanted payments. And he admitted to me that he's got all the faculties and all the cables and stuff, and that he was on welfare. And I, in the meeting with all his friends and stuff, I said, I'm a Canadian, buddy. What value and why would we immigrate you into Canada and you're on welfare where we have to support you, where you don't have enough to pay for your cable TV, which costs you $100 on your cell phones and stuff like that. And it really bothered me. It really bothered me. And what they said to me, he says, Canada's a very generous place, Ron. He says, you have no idea. And they told me, they don't go to banks to borrow money. They borrow from their group. They're a very, very tight group. It almost made me envious, Guy, of how they stick together where we really don't. Because we're so generous. We're so there. We're hanging up signs. We welcome immigrants. We welcome. Sure we do. But we are absolutely getting inundated. And these people are groundswelling. They really protect each other. They really work together. And it's about time that we really woke up and say, you know what? Why don't they have to go to the banks to get loans? Where is this money coming from to self-fund them? I don't know. Go ahead. It's true. Yes, and it's infiltrated. And you know what? I'm a huge, huge Donald Trump fan. I'm a huge Donald Trump fan. I really am. And you know what I like most about Donald Trump? He doesn't care. And I love him. When people, and I'm very vocal, and I'm a conduit to all the crap and all that stuff. And it's funny when they say, well, he should be doing this. And I said, guys, he wasn't elected to be the normal, established guy. He's on his Twitter, and you know what the nice part is? He's rich enough that he doesn't care. Where most other politicians, if they don't get that paycheck, although the millions that they've scandalized and taken advantage of all of their lives, because I don't understand how a guy making $150,000 a year as a politician or a senator, they're all multi-millionaires. Why? Because we're getting sucked in, and we've got to start exposing it.
So why don't we run Brown out of town and vote for you?
Are you a heckler? Hey, buddy from Mars. I want to be a spell checker on Facebook because he always puts my name when he slams Choo-Choo Jimmy Watson and stuff. There's another one. So I want to spell check him. Alt left and alt right. I had to look that up. Bernie Sanders, my daughter. I have fights with my daughter. She's got Bernie Sanders all over her Facebook, and I got Donald Trump. Alt right, alt left. What's the good one? What's the one that it doesn't subscribe to the right way? If it's right, that's me. We get sucked in Ottawa. Quebecers, the truckers. I'm getting inundated. I'm going to absolutely do something about these truckers. But you know, 57 Ontario, Quebec vehicles caught on red light cameras, but no tickets. We get sucked in.
And what's the price?
When's it going to stop? So these truckers come over, and I've fought red light tickets, and my argument, and I'm probably the only guy in court, and I'll wrap it up with this story before I turn it over. I'm the only guy that's gone to court with a red light ticket, really proven I was 0.8 seconds over the line. 0.8 seconds. But the judge at the start, and the room was full, said if anybody's proven to be over the line, I can't hear your case, you're guilty. It is what it is. Half the room gets up, and I'm staying right there. Not a chance. You're going to hear me, Dave. You can kick me out. Always dress respectfully, talk nicely. But my argument was at 0.8 seconds going into the stoplight, I said with 23 ton on the back of my truck, to slam my brakes on would be catastrophic. I, Your Honor, believe my driver did the responsible thing, slowing down and proceeding with caution through the light, and that was in the best interest. She couldn't wipe the ticket out, but she cut it in half for me, and that was the first time she's ever done that. So he did go over the line, but there was special circumstances. But when I go to court, I'm looking for a little bit of mercy because my guys are usually guilty. But it's the relationship that I've got, and they are. Because you know, I go for seat belts and I go for this, and I gotta look the guy in the eye, and I have to say, you know what, this is what my driver said. He said his seatbelt was on, really maybe wasn't, or his handheld phone was in his hand, but I think it was a CB. They'll give me usually a break, but I don't like lying to those guys because I look them right in the eye. One more thing, bike lanes. Isn't the bike lanes great? Bike lanes are dangerous in progress, but we keep doing them. This, what is this guy, Jeff
70
Leeper?
million.
Yeah, normalize.
What a fruit this guy is. I want him to hear this. What a
$70
flake.
million.
Normalizing cars when they gave 150 tanks of gas from Montreal, normalizing cars. These guys are dangerous that we elect, but you know what? They're all downtown. They're all these artsy, fartsy kind of people, these bike lane people. You know what? You're lucky I don't really let loose. I'd be taken out of here in cuffs, believe you me. But the bike lanes. I'm gonna hire Dano to clean up the mess later anyway. And Andrew. I already gave Andrew $200, so he's got a little bit of just make a make-work project for him.
I'll clean that up.
Sanctuary cities. I'm gonna close it with sanctuary cities. Now, we can give you free dope, free needles. We can inject you with heroin. Again, yeah, not second day in a row.
Party at Ron's.
That's absolutely, yeah. Well, Jesus, Murphy.
Don't say my
We can inject her with heroin. We can get free needles. We can get this.
Thank you, Jim
We can be illegal. We can be this, and this. And yet, one of my drivers gets a snow plate knocked off his truck. He gets a $395 fine. So, sanctuary cities. What we're doing is that we're encouraging all the legal activities, and we, the hard-working taxpayers, we're going to fit the bill for all this because, you know what, it's a shame. I'm going to throw that one against the wall. The shame is, you can get free needles for a drug addict, but a poor senior has to pay for the needles for a diabetic. Where's the change? Where is the change?
And
It's crazy.
17,000 condoms.
Are you a heckler? Yeah.
Surely you need 17,000.
No,
Yeah. Shirley, why would you know about condoms?
because Jim Watson gave Dave Paul 17,700.
Oh, that's yesterday's story.
It's it's alive and well.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah,
good man.
nothing's old stories.
All right. And then Jimmy's LRT. We're Harder, McLeod, and our LRT spending not there. We're the women with the Muslims covering them up and making them second-class citizens. Where's the women? Now, if I said something about my wife or a female, I'd be pounded. I'd be pounded if I said something negative about gays or lesbians. But they can throw them off roofs. I was thinking about saying, are the Muslims not wrong? Are they right? I'd be like sanctions, but I said that on tape and slides, so I don't care. Anyway. Welcome to Canadian Language Fairness. That's a bit of my rant. I get frustrated. I listen to the radio. In my winery in Elmer, I listen to the radio all the time. And you know what? Sometimes I want to just turn it off because it just gets inundated. Everybody on social media here, is anybody getting absolutely tired of fake news and all the crap? Because I respond to that fake news and I got to be careful because if I really respond to fake news, it's terrible. Thinking it's real news, but learning it's fake news. Anyway, I'm going to introduce Beth. Beth Trudeau is a great lady. I would do anything for this lady. She is a good friend. She now she and John raise chickens and ducks and such because they know the apocalypse is coming. I believe her. She's a hard, tenacious worker. She's a fighter. When she asked me to come out to support events in my town, I have to come because she's a great supporter of my Truckers Association and myself and my family. So without further ado, Beth Trudeau.